At every Luncheon Series event, the Latino Leaders Network features a community partner doing good in our community. The National Hispanic Caucus of State Legislators certainly qualifies, and we are delighted to be joined by Senator Carmelo Ríos, President of NHCSL, and who also serves as the Majority Leader of the Puerto Rico Senate. I had the recent opportunity to visit with Senator Ríos for lunch inside his office at the Capitol in San Juan. He is an extraordinary leader who cares deeply for the people of Puerto Rico, to be sure, but also about the greater Latino community. Senator Ríos left the NCSL meeting, the National Conference of State Legislators, who are in their national conference now in Los Angeles. He left early, taking a flight yesterday to get here late in order to be with us. Please welcome the Honorable Carmelo Ríos Santiago for community partner remarks.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon, and it's an honor to be here with you today. Thank you, Mickey, and the Latino Leaders Network for creating a forum where a community can have a frank and open discussion in a bipartisan manner on the future of Latinos and our nation. I want to recognize the Honorable Bob Menendez, a true champion of the Latino community in the Senate, who has broken barriers and overcome adversity to show us what a leader for the Hispanics should be like. Gracias, Senador. Gracias. I also want to recognize Reverend Luis Cortez, Jr., for his work on behalf of immigrants and his push to improve social mobility. Thank you, Reverend. As Mickey mentioned, I was elected president of the National Hispanic Caucus of State Legislators in February of this year. For almost 30 years now, we at the National Hispanic Caucus have been representing Hispanics, state legislators from all across the country, who today number over 400, to have our advocacy here in DC, and by helping all of our members be better informed in the policy and strategy. The National Hispanic Caucus works in a bipartisan manner on many issues, including criminal justice reform, equal access to technology, quality health care, and affordable housing, as well as promoting respect on equality for all people, from immigrants to women to racial and ethnic minorities, including non-Hispanics. But for the last 2 years, it feels like we've been in an overdrive, in a permanent state of emergency, constantly fighting to defend our community, one attack after the other. Frankly, I don't know about you, but I am angry. I'm angry at the cruel images we see on TV of families being separated at the border. I am angry at the reckless effort to fracture our nation by pitting one group against the other in a war of us versus them. I am angry at the conniving efforts to undercount our people in the 2020 census, depriving us of the much needed resources and political representation. I am angry because of the Muslim ban, the building of a wall, the attempt to strip LGBT community and people of their civil rights, and the constant attack on the press. I am angry at all those things, I know you are angry at them too. But you know what makes me even more angry? The fact that nearly 27 million Latinos were eligible to vote, and only 13 showed up at the polls. And now here we are in 2018, and it looks like history repeating, and that makes me angry. Because perhaps in 2016, the hateful rhetoric trumpeted against us was just words. But now, we're living it in our own flesh. So this time, what is the excuse? Doing nothing about it on election day is immoral. Not as immoral as the cages full of innocent children, but immoral nonetheless. We need to wake up, people. Get out of our comfort zones and ask ourselves, what more can we do to make sure Latinos register and show up to vote? Let's be real here. We spend too much energy, dollars, ink, and breath being outraged. And indignation is righteous, but it's useless if we just watch the images of children on Telemundo and Univision and don't get our 20 million fellow Hispanics to vote. Events like this luncheon cannot be just about reconnecting with friends. They cannot be just about recharging political batteries. They have to be about action. We talk about the power of the Latino vote, and sometimes it feels like if we're drinking our own Kool-Aid. The fact is that there is no power if we don't flex our collective muscle and make sure that our fellow Americans know that all of you and that all Hispanics share my anger. I cannot just denounce the racist remarks of a congressional candidate down in Florida who said, and this is true, that Puerto Ricans that have moved to Florida shouldn't be able to vote. I had to go there and knock on every door and urge my fellow Boricuas and every Hispanic to come out and vote. And I've been doing that, and we'll keep doing it until the day of the election itself. But it is just not me knocking on doors. At the National Hispanic Caucus, we are doing it through policy, like promoting legislation, creating election day as a holiday, so people can go out to the polls. Because voting on election day is as patriotic, if not more, than celebrating our nation with fireworks on the 4th of July holiday. To round it up, let me just be clear. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent. We need to show up and vote. And we also need to elect our people, like Senator Menendez, like Ibarra. Because if we don't do that, and we don't have a seat on the table, we become part of the menu. And I don't know about you, but I am angry that our people seem to be the main course of this administration's menu. Ya basta. Basta con la injusticia. Pero ya basta también con la resignación de nuestra comunidad. And to round it up, my message to you is this. We must turn our indignation into votes. Because if not, whatever happens next will be our fault. If we don't do everything we can to empower our community to register and show up in November, the result, and it will be a negative result, will be on us. All of us in this room. This is the Latino Leaders Network. And if there is people who can do it, it is us. ¿Verdad que sí? ¿Verdad que sí? Sí se puede. Vamos a trabajar duro para que nuestra comunidad se inscriba y salga a votar. And let's come back next year to this Leaders Forum and still wiping our sweat from our forehead as we walk into this room and celebrate the fruits of our hard work by saying, ya era hora, coño. Thank you.